Hello. Welcome to Dan Explains It All. Today, we're here to talk about dark light. Dark light combines our sunlight and dark star petals into one. For more information on the individual petals, please refer to the previously provided reference materials. Their sound remains the same, and the controls largely unchanged. Today, we'll focus on what fuses them together. First, note the reverb control on Dark Star, now referred to as decay. Its function remains the same, but the name is now in accordance with Farsh protocol. The mix knob on each side has been expanded into individual wet and dry volume controls. Wet sets the volume of the reverb signal, and dry sets the volume of the original input signal. This allows greater versatility, especially when combining the two sides together, to be able to individually attenuate and boost each of these signals. Expression control has been expanded according to the sunlight system. Using one expression jack on the top of the pedal, you may assign expression control to Control 1, Control 2, Decay, Rate, Depth, or Input, or any combination of these controls. You may individually set the heel and toe positions and express them all using one external TRS expression device. For more information on how to assign this, please refer to the manual. The hold switch allows you to indefinitely sustain the reverb of either sunlight or dark star, or both. The assignment switch selects this behavior, and the hold switch itself is either a momentary or latching foot switch. Simply tap to latch and indefinitely sustain the signal until you tap the switch again, or hold the foot switch for momentary latching of the reverb signal. An LED will show when the reverb is held. This also applies if you max out the decay control on Dark Star, or max out the decay and minimize the input on sunlight, as these knob positions create indefinitely held reverbs. A note on the switches. The bypass switches are also either tap for latch or hold for momentary operation. With the spread knob and top input and output jacks, many different routing scenarios can be achieved. For true stereo operation, take a stereo signal, run one side into the sunlight in, the other side into the dark star in, and then send signal out of the corresponding outs. Turn spread all the way up to maintain stereo separation, or turn it down to steadily collapse into a mono signal. This sets the depth of stereo field through spread. For a mono to stereo configuration, plug a mono signal into either dark star or sunlight, then plug out of both sunlight and dark star out. Spread once more will set the depth of the stereo field from parallel mono on each side when all the way down, or fully separated with dark star all the way to one end and sunlight all the way to the other. For parallel mono operation, simply plug into only the dark star in and out, or only the sunlight in and out. Turn spread all the way down so both signals are represented at whichever output you've chosen. Now, the pedals are still independently switchable, but they can be blended in parallel even when not using a stereo signal. Finally, for series mono operation, treat the pedals as if they were still individual pedals. Plug your signal into either sunlight or dark star's input, then the corresponding output into the other input, and finally out of the remaining output to go further down the mono chain. In this scenario, turn spread all the way up to make sure the signals stay separated, or risk a pretty nasty feedback loop. And that's it. That's Dark Light. It's available now in limited quantity from the Old Blood Noise Endeavors website for $350. We'll see you over there. I've received reports of a feature called Trails that is internal to Darklight. By default, the Trails switch is set to on, meaning when the pedal is turned off, reverb trails will be able to tail off gracefully. If notes are held, they will remain held, and if Darkstar is in runaway feedback mode, the feedback will continue to run away, so do be careful of that. If you desire the classic true bypass operation of Darkstar and Sunlight, turn the internal trail switch to off. Otherwise, enjoy natural reverb after turning the pedal off.